Hi, and welcome to Up the Shift. My name is Iskandar Ahmed. I'm a creative director, artist, and brand strategist, and I'm here to help you pursue your creative passion. Up the Shift is a unique program that encourages the youth based in the Middle East to transform their passion for photography, videography, or even printing into a rewarding career. The program is open to participants between the ages of 14 to 25 in the Middle East. The program is collectively divided into 4 modules. These modules serve as tools to help you through the process of designing and launching a successful creative business. The third module is focused on helping you pursue your creative passion and will look into portfolios, what purpose they serve, as well as how to develop your own unique style. I'm Iskandar Ahmed and I'm 32 years old. I'm currently the managing partner of BuzzEV Communications, a boutique communications agency. I also handle all creative direction for our design wing, BuzzEV Creative. I'm an avid photographer and extremely passionate about design, its philosophy, and the incredible power it has to impact others. What people look at as being a product of talent is actually the result of years of experimentation. From childhood through college, I've developed a sort of muscle memory. At Parsons, I really took the opportunity to experiment, kind of like Tarzan, where I would grab at different creative vines, be it communication design, branding, illustration, or even animation. This experience has allowed me to really roll up my sleeves and get involved in different types of projects. While at Parsons, I was fortunate to work on some truly great projects, one of which actually ended up being on one of Time Magazine's greatest inventions. And now, over a decade later, I love to share my design learnings with others, encouraging them to also have fun with design and understand how design is everywhere in everything we do. I've also had the privilege to guest lecture at several universities here in Dubai. Good design is creative problem solving, and so a good designer always has to have their thinking cap on. I've helped schools, retailers, and service providers amplify their voice through impactful visual strategy and great design. There will always be a need for good design, and I realized that I could fill that void in the local market. The most important thing to understand when trying to find your unique artistic voice is to keep in mind that there's no fixed method or surefire theory that you can follow. It's all about trying to find a style and brand that truly reflects who you are as a person and how you choose to give form to your inner voice and vision. However, there are certain things you can do to help you along the process of discovering your own unique style. In this video, I'll touch upon a few of these points and talk you through the steps you'll need to take in order to help you discover yourself. First off, let's talk about what style is. How would you describe style? Style in its most basic definition is a distinctive appearance, typically determined by the principles to which something is designed. Human beings are unique in that each person is born into a society but grows into an individual. This individuality is what sets us apart from each other and helps us truly stand out in a crowd. Style can roughly be said to be made up of a combination of originality, personality, voice, and inspirations. Originality refers to the ability to think and act independently or creatively. Personality refers to the individual differences in characteristic patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Personality is often translated into the way we work, or the way we speak, or even the way we dress and talk. Voice, your inner commentator and personal guide. Your voice is an inner reflection of all the things that you're passionate about, and include those things that help develop and inspire your personality. Inspirations, those things that inspire you to go out and do more and be more. Just as you develop yourself and become more like you, as you grow up, your artistic voice is doing the exact same thing. It's important to keep in mind here that this is a continuous process that can and should keep evolving throughout your life as an artist. Spending time on improving your skills can help you achieve personal career goals. There are no shortcuts in life. Constant, daily dedication and practice is required to keep you bettering yourself and your work as well. Work never stops, and with the boom of entrepreneurship and freelancing, it's becoming increasingly competitive, and the only way to stay with, if not ahead of the pack, is to constantly be looking for ways to develop yourself and your skills. Here are some tips that should help you develop your skills. Curiosity. Curiosity is essential because it makes the process of developing skills much more enjoyable. If you're curious, you'll naturally want to know more simply because it's fun. You'll go further and deeper than those who develop their skills just because they have to. Learn to be flexible and versatile. Versatility is the ability to work outside of your comfort zone. This is crucial as the only way to ever get better at anything is to push yourself daily. While it's important to create a style of your own, you'll be required to work in a style that's correspondent to what your client needs, and the ability to be versatile will make you an asset to both companies and clients. It'll be easier for you to grow if you have a concrete example of what you want to be. That's why it's important to find your role models. Your role models give you a standard to achieve so you know where and how far you should go in developing your skills. Design professionals need to constantly innovate and strive for perfection. Innovation and perfectionism isn't enough for good design. It requires a burst of creativity and an appreciation for what is considered aesthetic. How to develop an aesthetic. Appreciate all forms of art. Look for beauty in yourself and in others. Reject what is unpleasant or unnecessary, including a very shallow appreciation of beauty. It's something that a person cultivates over a period of time. Developing a sense of aesthetics not only helps one appreciate beauty around us, but also create beauty as well. Just as you develop yourself and become more like you, as you grow up, your artistic voice is doing the same thing. With every experience you have, yourself changes and grows. And with every piece of art you make, your style changes and grows too. The best way to create your style is to tune into your vision and instinct and let it guide you where your art needs to be. Instinct is guided by experience. So the only way to fully develop an instinct is to work and experience as much as possible. Follow your curiosity and passion. The more you notice and pay attention to the elements that keep popping up in your artwork, lead you to discover what makes a piece of art truly like you. This includes color palettes, overall drawing style, textures, voice, subject, and specific technique. It's important to keep in mind here that this is a continuous process that can and should keep evolving throughout your life. Editing your creative work can make all the difference. Photo editing isn't an afterthought. It's a fundamental part of the process. Create a mood board. Your journey towards discovering your style begins with finding inspiration. This will help you realize what it's like to look for in a good piece of work. Once you're done, you can then start to understand the direction you will want your work to take and how to draw from those inspirations and your own style to create something that you really love. Research. Style is all about understanding what makes you, you. Research is the cornerstone of any great project. The best way to understand what it is you want your style or brand to be is to do research, so you can clearly understand what it is you like and what you want to stay completely away from. This will allow you to better understand what it is to look for in your work in order to reach an output that you believe truly reflects you. Research is also an important part of working with clients and customers. Nothing comes across more professional than doing your research. Research will allow you to understand your client and brand and provide you with inspiration and build creativity. Direction. Be clear on what you want your final output to be. If you work without direction, then you will be all over the place. And your work will reflect this mindset, and you'll be left with work that neither appeals to you or your client. So before you start anything, put your ideas down and see what stands out to you and what you think will work. Once you understand all the elements of artistic style and use the tips I've mentioned to you today, you'll be able to understand a little bit more about what it means to develop and create your own artistic vision. My style is consistently evolving, and I mold myself around my clients' needs. My general aesthetic is forged on a strong use of the core principles of design, primarily hierarchy, contrast, movement, texture, and balance. All when used effectively can make a truly outstanding piece of design. It's imperative for good designers to learn how to adapt and constantly be learned. We separately conduct a competitive analysis to ensure our client stands out in a crowd. Active listening is essential because you want to perfectly marry your design skills and client input to produce an impactful piece of work. The competition runs until the end of December, and in the months leading up to the deadline, participants will be completing tasks assigned to them over 4 modules. To enter the competition, simply follow the guidelines and check the website regularly for updates. Go to en.canon-me.com/uktashif-program to find out more. The grand prize winner will be awarded with 15,000 dirhams, as well as 15,000 dirhams worth of Canon products and a year-long membership at a local entrepreneurship incubator where he or she can launch their business. Winners will also be featured on Canon's social media channels. Best of luck to all the participants.